nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we get a roll call?
Yes.
It's going to be pretty quick.
All right. Commissioner Kibble.
I'm here.
And Commissioner Ettinger is not here today. Commissioner Jetter.
Here.
Commissioner Provo.
Here.
Commissioner Sahaki.
Here.
And Commissioner Callahan.
Present.
Commissioner McAllister is not here today. Commissioner Smits is not here. Commissioner Underwood is not here. And we have a quorum.
We do have a quorum. Okay. Jeff is going to be giving a presentation, so I know he doesn't want to speak as public comment.
Or do you?
Or do you? So with that, we're going to roll right on by first public comment. Approval of or any additions to the agenda. I would like to take a moment and move the Norte land lease, the new business, to right behind Jeff, so we can get it up in before the consent calendar and all those.
Second.
Okay, my motion, right? And second by John Sohaki. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? It's so done. With that, Jeff?
All right, and I have the pleasure of introducing Jeff Bensley. You've all met Jeff previously. Jeff is with the River Outfitters. He's going to give an update on the 2025 season. So Jeff, welcome. Come on up to the podium. Thanks for joining us. We're catching Jeff just before Florida season here.
That's true. Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me in today. Happy to be a part of Medali Park and get to work with all of you guys. It's going to be, our second season?
Yeah.
Second full season. Things went good. We offer kayak rental, stand-up paddle boards and bikes out of Medali Park and Clinch Park. So we're kind of on both sides. And, if that darn fish pass thing would ever get completed, we would have the ability to send people from one to the other, which I think will be really cool. As far as Medali Park goes, I would say that traffic-wise, we were down in June, because I think everybody was down in June. The weather was just terrible. It was either really, really, really cold, rainy, or when it was hot, it was real hot. And if it's real hot, we all know that means south wind. South wind is not the best for Medali Park because it just blows people away from us, and they can't get back. So when the winds are super high, then we're kind of restricting it to say, okay, you can only do bike rentals today, or you can only go out in the morning before the afternoon winds pick up. So slow June for us. We had a great July.
Good.
Barely any rain. July was great. August pretty similar to last year. I think overall we're probably going to be down 5%, or something, which isn't bad given today's climate. Staff was awesome. We have one of our managers from last year returned again, so things ran real smooth. No real customer complaints, no staff complaints. I feel like that was the smoothest year, that I've been there. I think we're getting it more dialed in to understand what the needs are of the park and of the people that go there and what times they go there and all that type of stuff. We're definitely more busy in that late afternoon, whereas it seems down at Clinch we're more busy in the morning. So I think there's more people out downtown earlier in the day, and in the afternoon it's a lot of the people hitting the trail and doing things towards that middle of the day. So that's when we find ourselves to be busiest out at Medali. Some other things to note. We did more bike rentals this year than we did last year. I think that's just to awareness of the Bourbon Lake Loop. There's a lot of folks that really enjoy that trail. It's even if they're not biking, there's a lot of people that we'll see who must live within a few blocks, or maybe they're driving in, but they're walking that trail a couple times a week. You'll see the same people, go by roughly around the same time of the day, you know, so I think that that trail is, people are getting more aware that it's completed and seeing how pretty it is, and obviously just being by the lake there, that whole section is beautiful, so there's a lot of people standing out on the bridge and, you know, enjoying that. Things went good with the rowing company. They had to move the dock. If you're not aware, we moved it a little bit, what would be south, just to get into some deeper water for their boats. Worked out fine for us to, you know, where the new dock location was, no different, you know, for us. I think it's a little easier for them to make the turn and get out on the dock and stuff, so. No major improvements on our end this year, because we did all the stuff last year. Just to refresh your memory, last year we added power and water. Got the new booth and set up the bike rental area, or the bike enclosure. So this year we're kind of just dialing all those things in and figuring out what stuff we can reduce to have the right numbers of equipment that people need. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I would say the only thing that was a little bit troubling, and I don't want to, you know, end on a negative note, but we did have later in the year, like end of August, early September, we did have a number of things that were stolen from the bikes, which is frustrating. People stealing the seats, stuff that we don't have. We have them locked up. They can't steal the bike, but so that's never happened to me before, at, you know, downtown or out there last year. Well, we had 4 seats stolen and a rear wheel. I don't know why anyone would want, the rear wheels are all kind of specific to your individual bike. But not only did they steal the rear wheel, they took their rear wheel and put it on our bike. It was kind of weird that they would go through the time of like taking the wheel off, which is a fairly in-depth process, and then putting it back on so it wouldn't look like it was, you know, gone when we showed up there. So that was weird. Just something to note. I don't know if the Tritons had any issues. Their stuff's kind of all in that big fence area, but.
Did that occur over a very short, like a short period of time, or was it spaced out over a long period?
It was over the course of, I would say, less than 3 weeks. Yeah, so 3 separate incidences over less than, so 2 that were fairly close within probably a week, and then nothing for a while, and we kind of were watching it every day and kind of inventorying things, and that's when the rear wheel got stolen. We were like, what in the world?
Yeah, interesting, okay.
It was weird. It was very weird. And honestly, the wheel probably didn't fit on their bike, you know. The bike wheel that they put on ours didn't fit on ours, so ours probably didn't fit on theirs. So just kind of a weird thing. Let's see, what else can I mention? If you haven't been to the park, we, as in the county, also installed like a retention water pond. I don't know how to describe that better than that, John, but
Rain garden.
Rain garden, okay. It was successful. It helped draw some of the moisture over that way. Medallia is pretty low, so it does have some, you know, flooding issues at times. But I do think that was a successful, you know, improvement to the park by the county. We're there every day, so we get to see, you know, how that affects things. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else that I have. Obviously, the washing of the silt down from when the dams were removed is still a little bit of an issue, and that's something to be watched. I don't know what the long-term plan is, but it's very possible that it continues to run down and starts to create a channel or a river at the end of the lake. If you haven't been there, it's real shallow.
Yeah, that was the reason we had to move the dock.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's talk, if I'm not mistaken, that they're going to change the channel when they redo South Airport.
So there's a couple of road commission projects that are, well, one that's starting and then one that will be underway after that. So Beitner, where Beitner meets the river, the plan for the road commission is to replace that bridge in 2026. I'm not seeing the engineering for it yet, but that is the plan to do that. They have to do that before they can do anything to South Airport Road. So the intention is to finish the Beitner Bridge, rebuild that thoroughway, and then rebuild the bridge at South Airport in the river. And they may change where the river flows, but none of the engineering's been done for that or anything yet. So we'd let you know
Gotcha.
as something like that comes up and make sure
The
you're involved in the
Beitner Bridge
discussions.
crosses over the Bourbon River?
Beitner crosses over the Bourbon, yes.
Way down on the south.
Keystone
end.
Rapids?
Keystone Rapids down on the south end of the,
Gotcha. Is that north of Jack's Landing then?
It is south of Jack's
south
Landing.
of Jack's
So
Landing.
between
That's what I
Jack's
meant.
Landing and Chum's Corner,
Gotcha. Over by River Road, right
Right.
there. Gotcha.
just
Thanks.
below the River Road
Yep.
roundabout.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up.
that bridge that everybody uses as an in and out right
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Be first.
Interesting.
I want to compliment you too, and you and your team on a great improvement in the area and the visual of the area and just the organization of the area. It looks so much nicer, so much more inviting, so thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, we appreciate that. It was real, our manager did a real good job of like, and we're still working on it. It's like saying, okay, we don't really need this many of X. Let's clean that up. Let's reduce some of these ones that maybe need to be retired and replace them with some new equipment. So we got some new bikes going and got rid of a few bikes. And yeah, we're just trying to dial it in to make it look like, you know, we don't need an excess of stuff that we're not using. So appreciate that. If there's something else that you need too, just, you know, or something you want to change, let me know.
Sam?
Have you noticed any unintentional overnight guests in Medalley Park?
I mean, I don't really want to comment on that too much. There's
If you do,
always
are they
some folks there that
Mhm.
probably could have better places to stay.
Okay.
You know,
any issues other than that small theft? You know, are your customers reporting any concerns to you in that nature?
it's a tricky subject. You know, we try to
Well,
make
I'm talking
friends with the
about
folks
making
that are
sure
out
that our
there.
park is in
and
a reasonable shape. I don't think that's too tricky.
yeah, I think that we try to be friends with a handful of people that are there on a regular basis who maybe don't have other places to be, and we try to make friends with them.
Mhm.
And once you know their name and you can talk to them, and they know they're reasonable, and you ask them to, you know, would you mind moving over here because we have some folks that are going out or something.
Mhm.
That's the approach we try to use for that. There's always people in city parks that I don't really have a comment on it specifically.
Okay. Also then thinking too, you know, let's say we're looking at 5 years down the line, you're still successful there. What do you need from us today to help make sure that you still feel like you can provide this service to individuals there? Are there any changes that we can be slowly making for you in terms of what that park has to offer?
Well, access to the river is important, you know, and the things that we just spoke about with the silt, and making sure that that you're able to get into the lake and that it's coming out at the end is important to us. Just
Mhm.
dialoguing about, you know, if there were ever any dredging needed or something.
Yeah.
That's important, not only to us, but to people that are just generally kayaking on the lake and getting stuck in the middle area. I mean, otherwise, I think the bridge is beautiful. I think the trails are good. John had mentioned that they had put up some new, like, you know, signage type of stuff, and that I think has helped. People are more clear on. It's a little confusing right there when you get there the first time, how to keep going on the loop, you know. So I think, yeah, I mean, the only thing that I don't think it's a county thing, but maybe a Tart Trails thing. If you have any meetings with them, there is a section that's not paved. That
Mhm.
there are some elderly people that would really appreciate if there was some a considered effort to either put down, you know, crushed concrete or pave that portion of the trail because
It's on the east part there, isn't it?
yeah, when you're riding a bike on it and you're not a super confident bike rider, it can be a little squirrely in the sand, in the deep sand. So,
I bet the Boardman Lake Loop Trail Advisory Committee is aware of that.
The committee is aware of that. It's the condo association that does
I
not,
figured there was
that has
that
not
reason.
permitted paving that area.
Yeah.
So there's regular efforts asking for that.
Mhm.
Sure, yeah.
Do you have any issues with parking there, or do you feel like that's substantial enough? You know, I know.
No, we need more parking. It gets busier and busier with people,
Okay.
going,
Yeah, the
not
trail
even our
use.
customers, but just people parking there and going on the trail. And
Yeah.
I think that there could be more parking spots on the actual loop.
Mhm.
When you pull in, just more of similar parking to what we have, kind of in that sun starburst look. There's probably a couple new spots now that the pond is in there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Jeff,
you.
just to clarify, the pond, the rain garden,
Rain garden.
was an actual project with the school right there. And the kids all designed that and put that together. And I know Botanic Gardens, Matthew Ross helped design and so on. So that was great to hear.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And
And it works.
Yep, joint
helps.
project with Greenspire School,
Yep.
Botanic Garden, Grand Traverse Conservation District in Grand Traverse County, and the students designed it, and presented it here, and were involved in the installation of it. So it's a pretty cool project.
Yeah. They came in and gave us a presentation on it prior to doing it and so on. So that's great feedback and thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Two things I'll let you know about. We are looking at the possibility of repaving the entrance driveway from South Airport all the way through the cul-de-sac. The only thing that wouldn't get repaved is the new parking lot, but the rest of it would get paved. So those car-eating potholes would disappear. We're also, a part of our capital asset management plan is to renovate the restrooms at Medalli. That is on the plan for this year, so we're looking at doing that over the winter.
Excellent. Yeah. I think people really appreciate the Triton's rowing automatic stuff that's in there.
Mhm.
People always
Yeah.
comment on, oh man, it's so nice to have the blank and blank. So
Yeah.
when you're redoing the bathrooms, just keeping that in mind, I think. Is
Yeah, we'll
important.
keep those. We're going to replace the fixtures and the partitions. Paint it up, sharpen it up a little bit.
Nice.
John?
Just thinking out loud, is there any assistance we can get with parking in Beta? Could we park off-site in Beta, bus people into the facility
They have a stop at,
across the street?
across the river, actually, on the west side. There's a stop there. And there is one across South Airport as well, but also sketchy to kind of cross that. But they do have a spot in the parking lot, or they have a pickup in the parking lot adjacent. You can walk across the bridge to get there.
Yeah, I don't know if this is something in the budget, but I know you guys are creative. Sometimes I see that Logan's Landing is for sale, and I don't know if it would ever make sense to offer them, to try to buy a portion of their parking lot and incorporate that in the new lot that you're referring to, the newly paved lot. Maybe that you had adjoining or back-to-back lots there and more spots. They might be open to that. It's been on the market for a long time, so gather more parking that way.
I talked to Vince yesterday. Okay. Others?
Any others? Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you coming in each year and
Thanks, Jeff.
giving us an update.
Appreciate working with you guys.
Yeah.
Looking forward to next year.
Great.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yep, thank
Much
you.
Thank you.
appreciated.
Would like to move up the new business, the Norte land lease, so that we can get a vote on that. John, I think
Yes.
you're ready to give us a presentation on that.
I am, so thank you. So you have an updated Norte land lease. So we did execute an updated Norte land lease last year. This is an updated version to the updated version. There's a few things we changed for clarity. So just to kind of point those out, if you're looking through it, item number 6 under timeline. We changed that to give it a little bit more leeway, so Norte wouldn't be under such pressure for surprise notice of availability. So we changed it from 1 month to 3 months to engage a civil engineer. Under item 11, we eliminated references in there to 5 to 15 hours. So it basically said that it gave a reference in there that their programming was roughly 5 to 15 hours of time. And it's not really relevant as to how many hours of time that their current programming is. Their programming is going to be different in the future, so we didn't want to constrain them to that or feel that there was any limitation. And then under item number 13, that's the insurance component. And we just wanted to clarify that those were minimum limits. So they can have more insurance, but those are the minimum levels that we would accept.
Okay.
And then under rent, we have a couple things there. So we defined it as $1 per year for the land. So they're renting the space or they're leasing the space for the pump track, which we're planning to install in 2026. And they would also have the traffic garden, which is the parking lot. So $1 a year for the land. And then once they bring the building online, after facilities vacates that, we used the rate of not to exceed $5.31 per square foot plus utilities. That $5.31 comes from their current rent. So their current rent in their current HQ space is at the $5.31.
I'll make a motion and then we can have discussion because I know we're time sensitive for our vote.
Right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the updated Norte lease agreement as presented this evening, pending final legal counsel review.
Second on that?
Second?
Any more discussion?
Yeah.
Open to some discussion?
Question on my end here is, we outlined this pump track, phase 1, 2, and 3 here as well. That space is technically not vacated at this moment.
Right.
What happens to this lease if something happens on the grand scale in the county that ends up not being vacated?
So they have the option to opt out.
Okay. Just making sure that is outlined. I know that's making really good progress, and you're
Yeah.
definitely a big part of that.
Yep.
You just never know.
Right. They've so the pump track is done. I mean, I shouldn't say that's done. That would go regardless.
Right.
But if for some reason the building did not become available, and we wrote that specifically in there, that these were contingent on the availability of the building.
Okay.
I see everything moving forward well with
Mhm.
the process so far.
Perfect.
All
That's all I
right,
have.
any other discussion? With no other discussion, do we need a roll call vote, or can we just all say aye?
You can do whatever one you want.
Whatever I want.
You're the chair.
Uh-oh. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes unanimously, Kara.
Right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wanted to get that voted on and done and cleared up, so. With that, we will now just kind of go down the calendar as it is. Consent calendar.
All right. The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items to be dealt with by one commission motion without discussion. Any member of the commission, staff, or public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed therefrom and placed elsewhere on the agenda for a full discussion. Such requests will automatically be respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted, receive and file or approval, is approved by a single commission action adopting the consent calendar. Item number 1 under receive and file, Grand Traverse Bay YMCA monthly report for August and September. And item number 2 under approvals, minutes of the regular meeting of the Grand Traverse County Parks and Recreation Commission of September 4, 2025.
All right. Would anybody like to pull anything from the consent calendar, or can I have a motion to approve as it is?
I would like to pull item number 1, please.
Okay. Motion to receive and file item number 2.
I'll make a motion that we receive and file and approve the consent calendar with the exception of item 1.
Okay.
I need a second on that.
Second.
I'll second that.
Jamie Callahan will second that. All in favor of the consent calendar or the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. With that said, item number 1.
Yeah, wanted to take a moment to think about the YMCA at Central Y on a grand scale here. For those of you who might not have seen, they are making a sizable investment in their west location there on Silver Lake Road, and certainly kudos to the YMCA for such an impressive future addition to the community. Thought this would be the best place maybe to, ask John, what have the conversations been like regarding the future of Central Y? From what I've seen, they intend on ultimately vacating the South Y location there at the Logan's Landing location for the YMCA. Have they made any moves about Central Y? And if they haven't, I imagine we're very supportive of them continuing. They operate it much cheaper than we could operate our pool for. And how do we make sure we support and kind of collaborate with them moving forward if we do want them to stay there?
Sure. So we are actually in the process of setting up a meeting with them just to
Okay.
kind of do a check-in. We've got a contract that runs through 27?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, through 27 with them. And, but one of the things that is part of our 5-year recreation plan is to take an objective look
Mm-hmm.
at not only the relationship, but take an objective look at the financials of operating the pool and make a determination, is that something that we're interested in bringing back in-house, or is that something we wish to continue to have them operate? They do a fine job at operating it. I have no complaints with the way that they operate the pool.
Yeah.
But it's just, we feel we have that obligation to our public to make sure that we're doing that due diligence.
Yeah, certainly. Please keep us posted then, I guess, on those conversations there. Yeah, I'm sure it's a question that'll be posed a lot to us in the coming months, years, as people kind of see that high investment in the western location there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not something we're planning on doing right away. It's not something,
Of
you know,
course.
we've got a lot of other things on the calendar, but we will
Yeah.
at least take a look at that and make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Thought it was the best place to bring that up. Anybody else, anything? I'll make a motion that we receive and file the GT Bay YMCA monthly report.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Awesome, passes unanimously. Move on down. Reports. John?
All right.
Budget report?
Budget report, so I'll do that one first. So a few items under the budget report. Charges for services fees, you'll notice a negative right there, so it's just a refund. And sales, in that item, we had a good $480 in the sales category. That is firewood. We had an outstanding year for firewood at Power Island, to the point where we've got to take a look at how do we, we're selling too much firewood. We're selling it faster than we can cut it. And certainly there's a lot of downfall out there, and we can bring that back, but we just got to figure out how we're going to manage that. So that's one of the things that we're going to take a little time over the winter here, figure out how to do that. We'll also be talking a little bit about that as we get into the fee structures. Rent did well in rent as well, so 7102, you'll see that. And that's a combination of Power Island and Howe Arena rent. And if you recall, we changed to represent these items in cash, so we're seeing some things that are going to show up for 2026 on that list.
Okay.
For expenditures, you'll see just a couple of lines that I'll point out. 2020 or 2051 for contract services. All of these things, or a lot of these things, are really related to Camp Greilich. We've been spending a lot of focus for the last month on Camp Greilich. Those contract services, dumpster rental and porta potty, is what you're seeing there. Grounds care, equipment rental, again, largely for Greilich, for post-hole digging and a few other activities. And then postage, I'll set that one aside. I'll come back to that in just a moment. Other supplies is mostly Greilich supplies and equipment, in that case, with a few other random things for other parks. And then going back up to the postage, postage is our newsletter mailing. We've been doing a newsletter mailing every quarter as that newsletter comes out. We are going to stop the bulk mailing for the newsletter. We've opted to do that. Folks can still pick up a hard copy in any one of the 60-some-odd locations we have around the county. And there's also a digital copy that's available on our website. That is posted regularly, and then folks can also get that information by email. And there's some other things coming up by email as well. So that is what I have.
Do you foresee any unbudgeted expenses that are coming up here in the final quarter of the year?
Unbudgeted, no. We've done well with our budget. As I mentioned last time, I'm
Yeah.
really pleased with how the team has managed that. And we've got a number of expenses we're going to be putting through here soon. We just received approval today for about $16,400 in picnic tables, grills, benches, some additional trash receptacles, and a few other things that are going to be serving Civic Center, Camp Greilich, not Medallion Park, Maple Bay, and another park. Yeah, okay, it's just those four. I guess I did say all four. So we've got budgeted money to be able to do those things, and we want to continue to upgrade the amenities that we have in the parks. So and there'll be a few other things coming along the way.
Thanks, John.
Yep.
All right. Next on our list, the Strategic Planning Committee, Jamie, we met Tuesday night.
Maybe.
Gotta bring your microphone around.
I was not at the said meeting. I was at a land bank conference, so I was out of town. So I'm assuming that they met and did great things. But I would defer back to you, John,
We,
or whoever stood in for me to run the meeting.
So we were not able to have an official meeting with that one. We did not have a quorum for the meeting, unfortunately.
Are
So
you saying it's my fault since I wasn't there?
no. What we did do is we had Jeffrey and Caitlin from North Sky Raptor Sanctuary. They joined us, talked a little bit about their draft site plan, and so they gave the plan overview to us, and then from that point, we have opted to work with them and go to sketch plan review with East Bay Township on November 4th.
How exciting.
So that process will help us understand within East Bay Township, is this something that we can do? So before we even prove something on our side, we need to find out, is it even possible? So that's one piece. From there, we'll also be talking with Grand Traverse Regional Land Conservancy, make sure that what we're considering to do is within the guidelines of the conservation easement. So another, can we do this? If we pass those two, we'll then have further discussions about potential for land lease and then moving forward. So some neat things happening there. More to come.
Lot more to come.
Thanks, John.
Okay. Up next, Rules Committee, Jalen, I don't,
Rules Committee has not been
Maybe
inclined to
not.
meet at this time.
Yeah. Natural Education Reserve Advisory Committee.
There was no meeting for the month. It was the previous month. So it's a quarterly meeting on
Yeah.
that one.
T-Bay's rep,
Yeah.
John? Or Jalen, sorry.
John can always speak if he wants. Talked with our T-Bays group there. We have there's a meeting coming up as well, of course, on Monday. But looking here, they're continuing to have a really nice capital improvement schedule that they've formalized here recently. So we're seeing good upgrades with the physical items of the park there that they maintain. Goals primarily is their key area that they often focus on. So continue to refresh those. Also, then they had some really great results for their camp this year, for their rec camp, which was exciting to see. Really high uptake of interest in that there. Generated some good revenue for them as well, they commented on. So it's great to see people are still highly engaged, even outside of just, the key soccer clubs that are there, and they're still enjoying it recreationally as well. And they have also, excitingly, been in contact with and are starting the process of getting some architectural drawings and sketches from Fred Campbell in looking at restrooms, looking at office facilities, looking at kind of that whole picture, so we can move forward with supporting them for grants in February this year, which I have no doubt we'll hear more from them here this coming week, but that is very exciting.
Yeah, that would be. And they've
Yeah.
kind of slowly taken a growth plan and added the new adult weekend tournament and
Yeah,
some of that. So kind of trying to pull it together, it sounds like.
I think a key factor, too, was that the Michigan Sports Commission, I'm not sure the exact name of that board, but they have expressed interest in having the statewide fall tournament at T-Bays. They'd like to feel like they have a good facility for that in the future as well.
I think that would be really cool.
That'd be very
I think it'd
exciting.
Be very exciting. So,
Way to showcase our park for sure.
All right. I know that group does some pretty miraculous things and
They do.
help Hickory, the cross-country state meets and stuff are
Yeah.
now at Hickory, not just in the UP. and
Nice.
A lot of that came out of the sports commission, so.
They've been engaged with them on and off throughout the years, and definitely a good opportunity coming here.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, with that, Road Commission, Joe is not here. Drain Commission, Andy Smits is not here. County Board Representative, Brian McAllister is not here. So I think we got through this list pretty quick. We're down to Director's Report. We're back to John speaking.
All right, so just a
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. Take care now.
Appreciate
couple
it.
things quick here.
Thank you.
Camp Braddock, so just, I'm really, really proud of how the team has come together, both the Parks and Facilities combined team, and it's done a ton of work. Extensive work on the caretaker's house and on the cabins, extensive work on, we were out there today, and we were both commenting, as you walk around the cabins, just a simple thing like mowing around the cabins, and just kind of cleaning up around the area just makes a huge difference, and it just really makes the area much more inviting, and they're doing a fantastic job with that, so I appreciate that. Work is underway on hiring a caretaker for the home. I will say that applications are coming in a little slower than we thought they would come in, so we're having a little trouble with that, and so if anybody out there who's listening is looking for an opportunity to be a caretaker of a fantastic 196-acre park in the south end of the county, this is the chance. Come see us.
And
Yes.
you may want to mention there's some housing provided
Yes,
with
so
that.
there's a caretaker house on property, and a caretaker would take up residence in the house.
Have you or the fine HR department, I'm sure, of the county identified where that gap is in slow uptake of applications on this, and how are you more or less advertising? I know it's a very small advertising budget you guys receive, if any, but we have a social media page. You could put that on there, et cetera.
So Kara has put that on social media. We've also started to make some reach outs to community organizations that might be looking for housing for staff. So this is a part-time role, and so somebody else could take this part-time role and then also have another role elsewhere. So we've talked to a couple of organizations to see if they've got interest in that, and then they also posted on Indeed.
Great. And the key area of lack of interest, is it wage primarily?
No.
Okay.
So we aren't sure what that is.
Okay.
We thought might have been the house, and just the fact that you're living on site, which, you know, finding housing can be a
Yeah.
challenge. So
Yeah.
we think that that's more of a positive than a negative. So we're not quite sure of what that reasoning is.
Fair enough.
Add a jacuzzi.
Actually, there was one at one time.
I believe it was adding sound equipment. That's what we wanted at that house, right?
Large speakers, yes.
Excellent.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Back on track.
Back on track. I would like to turn this report over to Kara. Kara's been doing some amazing things to create some park engagement, so I'd like to have you share those things about our geocaching, Bark Ranger, and holidays.
Sure. So the geocaching project that you saw the stickers a couple months ago that were designed by the Career Tech Graphic Arts students, that has been going exceedingly well. So we have, I think, 16 of the 19 stickers out in the park so far, and we've had over 330 finds on them. So it's been some interesting analytics for us too about people engaging with parks, how they do. And I've been sharing some of the comments. So when you find a cache, you have to put it's not even optional, have to put a post. And most people will put thanks for the cache. And that's cool, but I've also been sharing with the team so many other comments that we've gotten, and it's things along the lines of, I had no idea that so many kids played soccer at Keystone. I've never seen this trail. This is so cool. And so we're really giving people some wow moments in the parks, and our goal was to let them see things that they haven't seen before, have them connect with parks in different ways and through all the seasons, and we see that happening. Generally, we haven't had too many problems with our caches getting moved or stolen or anything like that. It's not a ton of maintenance on our staff to get out there, and frankly, it's a good excuse and opportunity for us to be out there, boots on the ground, checking on things. So we share responsibilities for going out and refilling the caches, and so it gives us an opportunity to notice things like downfall or a garbage can or parking lot striping. So some of those finer points that we might miss if we're just doing cursory walkthroughs, we're catching. So it's going really well. I'm excited about it. Power Island's been one of our most popular ones. It turns out that a lot of the foot traffic on Power Island is people coming from out of the area, even out of the state, to geocache. So pretty interesting. So hopefully we'll continue that project. Secondly, Bark Ranger, we're in the final stages of wrapping up a social media role for that. So again, what this is it goes back to our action plan item about educating folks in the community about leash laws and availability of dog parks where they can go off leash. So we have a trifold brochure that the Strategic Planning Committee helped with earlier in the year that kind of outlines what the expectations are for dogs in the parks. and where they could go if they wanted to be off-leash. We've got some stickers that say, "My dog digs parks," and it's got Grand Traverse County Parks and Recreation logo. And we've just been out shooting some film of dogs in the parks, and that'll be finalized. Sticker, I can pass it around. So that'll go up on social media. I have engaged a younger volunteer of a different generation, my 16-year-old child, who knows how to do short-form video content. Apparently, people don't want to read the trifold brochure. They'd rather watch a reel, so we are going to make that happen. And one of the things we've learned through geocaching and the Bark Ranger program is that this first year is also about building awareness of our parks and the different offerings that we have in the community. And that will then help us down the road really communicate the value that so many people either take for granted or aren't aware of. One comment in particular related to that was about Civic Center. Somebody went, there's 3 geocaches at Civic Center that are ours. Somebody said, "I had no idea we had exercise equipment out there." That's awesome. So those are the kinds of things that the programs like Bark Ranger and geocaching support, that kind of awareness in the community. And then the last thing is our holiday tree stroll. So this will be another new one for us. Ariel and I are working together on it, along with our facilities department, who's going to provide the electric access. So over at Civic Center, just in front of the main building, there's, what we call the Octagon Plaza. So there's the walkway out to the fields. Just before that, there's a grass area that's surrounded by a sidewalk on 3 sides, and then kind of a planting bed on the side closest to the parking lot. So the plan is to partner with our nonprofits that we work with on a regular basis and offer up to 8 of them opportunities to decorate a tree with their theme. We'll have signage saying, this is hopefully Norte will want to do a tree, and I'm sure it will have orange on it. And so we'll have signage for each one. I understand that Loftus Golf, who's a partner of ours at Greilich, may be interested. Visitors can vote on their favorites. We are hoping to do a launch for this the first Friday in December, so kind of after downtown's tree lighting, sort of getting into that season where families might be looking for little things to do, photo ops, short walks, things like that. And then it would run through Winterfest, and we'd tally up the votes for the community's favorite tree at that time. And again, this is about building awareness, getting people out into a park that maybe they don't usually visit in the winter or at all. That's everything I got. Any questions?
I think it was John that came up with the excellent idea of seeing if any local pet supplies plus or similar companies kind of wanted to lend some leashes to a leash library. Have you engaged with any local suppliers regarding this dog program as well, and how we can kind of reinforce or create new partnerships with that?
Yep, so Pet Supplies Plus is willing to partner with us. They had a change in management that was out of their control, so we are working to reconnect with them on that. They are listed as one of our partners on the backside of the Bark Ranger brochure. And yes, that's the plan, is to have leashes available. That's what the Conservation District does, and it goes pretty well for them.
Awesome. I love
And
hearing
also,
that.
the other thing is if we can get free swag. Where this started with the Bark Ranger program is Tart gave us these cool Katya cards. The idea being, if I catch you doing something good, here's a reward.
Yeah.
The Katya cards expired, and they will not print their new ones until next year because they're primarily warm season-based trails on the ones they're doing the program on. But we figure any kind of donated swag that's pet-related could be fun. We're hoping to get that as well.
That's great. That's wonderful to hear. And curious too, do you anticipate the Power Island one particularly, that geocache, being used in the winter, and how will staff kind of maintain that? Because that's a very unique situation there.
So we will not be able to maintain that. Well, I don't know. It depends when John paddles,
Yeah,
when the
it
weather is good.
If the water's still soft.
Or if it freezes over completely, I guess that's easier too.
We can walk or skate over, absolutely. So one thing that I've learned about geocachers is they're really communicative. So if they get out there and there's no stickers, I guarantee you there's a message in my inbox telling me, which is nice because I know when to go refill them. And we had, I'll give you an example. One of our best customers lives out of town, was actually in town for hand surgery, and before the surgery went on some geocaching adventures, one of the stashes was empty, and they had to go take care of their medical needs. So they sent me a message. I'll drop a sticker in the mail to them. So it's another way to build goodwill and communication. So if that were to happen, we'll find a way to get them a sticker.
Okay.
Everybody wants the Power Island sticker.
Yes.
It's a rare one. Got to catch them all.
Did we get any visitors to Power Island geocache off the luxury boat that was in the bay, the cruise ship that was in the bay for a couple days?
How interesting.
Didn't even see it there.
Oh, there's pictures out there.
Yeah.
It was quite the cruise ship in the bay. 125 or something like that. Golfers. They played the bear and they played something else. I mean, they came in and did that.
Interesting. I want to read one of the cache responses. I can't tell you how much I love this series. The locations have been great, and the exception for Power Island is really appreciated. More on that in a moment. However, you guys are responsible for my lack of clean clothes and unswept kitchen. I just can't stop running out to find these. So I hope you're happy knowing you've created a cache monster.
Perfect.
Perfect.
That was the goal.
The exception for Power Island is we recognize that we have caches on an island that has a moat around it. So it's hard to get there. So Kara created an exception on land in a location where you can see Power Island, where there's a cache that you would be able to get one of the Power Island stickers.
Which, as a side note, has drummed up some business for the senior center building.
Which may be a hint as to where it's located.
You don't say. So you mean to say it's at Old Mission Peninsula? Got it. It's far at the end of the point.
Just don't know where at the senior center.
All right.
Thank you for putting
Great
all that
work.
together.
Thank you.
Good time.
Good report, thank you.
Thank you. Any of that news is
Yeah.
great out there. So, we almost need to make that a series that John reads one of these geocache
Every meeting.
messages.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our prelude to the meeting or something. Or
Yeah,
you know.
or on the bottom of his updates, Friday updates.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
I can do that.
All right. With that said, we're down to basically end of the,
Second public comment, huh?
public comment, second public comment, which we have nobody. So with that, notices, or notices and commissioner comments. Any comments?
Just a quick comment. We are coming up towards the end of the year already. My hour has flown by. I know our December meeting is, I think, scheduled for 13th or 14th. I would encourage staff to pulse commissioners and see if we need to move that meeting earlier in the year, perhaps earlier into the month. I just know that the December meeting is always a question, and we've had some lower attendance recently. Want to make sure if we're going to have it, we have people there in advance.
So we're working on addressing that.
Wonderful.
So,
Read your mind, I guess.
yeah. Anything else?
Good.
For you guys that have attended, thank you very much. I mean, we got to keep these meetings
Yeah.
going, and we got a lot still on our agenda. I think, just my comment, East Bay coming up with that sketch plan review of North Sky should be very, and you're more than welcome to attend. I got the chance to, that evening that they released the 3 raptors,
Yeah.
the red tail, the red shouldered, and then what was the
Cooper's
Cooper's hawk. I took my 12-year-old granddaughter and we went out. I just wanted to say a couple things. That park is looking stupendous. Stuff's being cleaned back. There's brand new womanized posts for signage going in. You walk around the cabins. They've actually cleaned moss about 6 inches deep off some of the cabin roofs to prolong the roofs, and of course that makes the whole place just look different. I mean, it makes it look like a cabin, not a hobbit house or something. Maybe a hobbit house is okay, but anyway.
Maybe that's it.
So
sounds
a lot of things going on out there.
Yeah.
With that startup. I don't think I've ever seen 2 people as excited as they were presenting to us. some preliminary drawings, some preliminary site plan, things for Dry Lake, and North Sky is working extremely hard. I mean, I think they're living every day on next day, what can they get done with this plan? So it sounds like it's moving very well forward for them too. And they've engaged, I mean, they've talked with their veterinarians. I mean, they've thought of that building, if this all kind of starts to work, it's going to be tremendous, so.
What does that look like in terms of potential timeline? You know, I've talked with them informally when we see them at events, and they're very optimistic about a timeline. From our side, what do you think that's looking like?
Depending on the other
All
two
things
stages,
considered.
3 stages, I
Yeah.
guess we need to go through. Once we get through those 3 stages done, if we assume that we were to be able to get through all those by March, April, it's conceivably possible they could be breaking ground either end of 26 or early 27.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Great.
And I do know there are many other people watching this,
Yeah.
especially some of the children's programming and things like that. There's a lot of pent up, hey, we put this in town, and it's not just it's not just North Sky. There's a lot of other, so it's going to be kind of interesting to watch.
I think back to that community survey we had a few years back, and so many of those key things that were important to people there, we're really starting to move towards fulfilling with our expansion into Grey Lake and that potential new partnership. All very exciting.
Agreed.
John, do you want to remind everybody the date of the sketch plan review at
Yep.
East Bay?
Sketch plan review is Tuesday, November 4. So Tuesday, November 4.
So that will be at East Bayview Township Hall. I think that meeting's normally 6:30.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I think it is. And
We'll confirm that in your packet.
yeah, it'll be in things. So, and any support is always welcome. So, if you're able to. With that, anything else? Boy, we're done well. Less than an hour. With that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.